Welcome back to another segment of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. Before we meet today's tech guest, we want to give a shout out to our podcast partners, the Florida Coaches Coalition, Vital Signs Wall of Fame, We Coach, and the global community of women in high school sports. You've heard me say many times, these are four great organizations. You should really have them as part of your network. And now don't hit that fast forward button. Stay with us for the next 3 minutes. We're going to give our sponsors their shout out. These are all companies that I used as an athletic director or as a head coach. You should be using them too. Here we go. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Home Campus for their support. Home Campus is the exclusive high school and state association management platform for the podcast. It's also your one-stop platform for things like scheduling, student athlete eligibility and clearance, coaching clearance, and a whole lot more. As an athletic director, I used Home Campus every single day, and it was just great. And the Home Campus team was great to work with too. For more information on how you can get started with Home Campus, all you have to do is go to homecampus.com. That's homecampus.com. We want to say thanks to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the events, or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out their interactive touchscreen video consoles. It's a great way to display those records. It's also a great way to showcase your school's diverse history and your proudest moments. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to say thank you to Huddle. Go to huddle.com and change the way you see the game. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided that let them coach our kids up to their highest level. Go to huddle.com and see why we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Join the 8 million users and turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com. Start creating world-class marketing content for your school's social media channel. You can do it in seconds on any device. You don't need any special training. It's so easy, even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com. Start celebrating your athletes, promote your teams and your programs. Gipper's trusted by over 3,000 athletic programs across the country, both high school and colleges, and their team is going to help you create professional graphics for social media. That's Gipper.com. We also want to thank Snap Mobile for their support. Go to snapraise.com and check out their entire platform, series of platforms designed to help you do your job better. Of course, there is Snap Raise. If you're looking for a fundraiser, stop. Snap Raise is hands down the best one out there. They even have a program where they'll give you your funding before you actually do your fundraiser. But there's a lot more than that. There's Snap Manage, Snap Connect, Snap Store, and a whole lot more. You'll find them all at snapraise.com. We also want to thank Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com, schedule a live web demo and see their tables and their boards in action. It's probably one of the best purchases I ever made as an athletic director. Go to sidelineinteractive.com, check out their great products today. And we want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to show you how they can create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of your parents and your student athletes. ADs already hear back from the complainers, the 2% that want to gripe about everything. Athletic Surveys will connect you with the 2%, but they'll also connect you with the 98% that love and support your program. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Start taking the pulse of your parents and your student athletes and take your program from good to great. Hey, welcome back, everyone, to another segment of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We're going football today, but you athletic directors and coaches that are listening, this is something that I'm really excited about. I heard about this and just said, we've got to get this on the podcast. Our guest today is Patrick Daberkow. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Coach. Probably butchered it. Patrick Daberkow. He is the head football coach at Concordia University in Nebraska. He's been there a long time, 17 years on the staff, 7th year as the head coach. And he's developed a very cool piece of technology for football coaches and for athletic departments. It's not just football, but Coach, welcome to Tech Tuesday.
Thanks for having me on, Jake. I'm excited to talk about this.
All right. Now, we talked about this, and I know I still screwed it up. Pronounce your last name for our listeners.
Yes, Daberkow.
Daberkow. Okay, so maybe I did get it right. We're going to hear about this product because I think it is really cool. But tell our listeners a little bit about yourself. Where you grew up. Take us up through your own high school and college years, and then maybe your coaching career. Just kind of paint a picture of who Patrick Daberkow is.
Yeah, so I was corn-fed, born and raised. Been a Nebraskan my whole life. Grew up in Madison, out on an acres. My parents. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth in this regard. My parents loved each other, loved me, loved God, and I think if you have that, you got 90% of it, And so I was very fortunate to have that home life and that situation. Loved football, and football has impacted my life maybe more than anything else in my life outside of faith and family, and so. Growing up in Nebraska, everybody wants to play with the red N on the helmet. And coming up out of high school, I didn't have that offer. I found an awesome program in Concordia University. It was less than 2 hours from my house that I grew up in, and came here on a football scholarship, and they just can't get rid of me. I've been here ever since. Came and played defensive back for Courtney Meyer. He was the head football coach. He gave me my first opportunity to be a graduate assistant, and then Vance Winter was the D coordinator who I was a GA for, and Vance took over as head coach in 2009, and then in that same kind of era, Devin Smith came on as athletic director and Angela Muller as associate AD, and so we've seen a lot of changes in our athletic department over my time here. We've built some facilities that are I think second to none in small college football and small college athletics in general. And in 2017, I was fortunate enough to be named head coach, and took over a lot of new responsibilities. One of them was budgets, and saw some line items that I was shocked how much they were, and which kind of led me to having conversations about an app.
Yeah, you and I talked a little bit when I saw, maybe it was on Twitter that you had posted the app, but the product that you're going to be talking about today, it is literally called the Headset app. And, for football coaches and ADs, you've seen these, forever, going back to the old school ones. I remember in high school, we actually had, our coaches had one. It was like a rotary dial. You're actually dialing the phone, just crazy stuff. To now, there's wireless and wired and everything in between, but yours actually, and I'm not stealing your thunder here, yours actually works off of an app on your phone. So talk a little bit about how it got developed, the technology behind it, how it works, and then of course how our coaches and ADs that are listening can get theirs, because I'll tell you right now, if I was still coaching, I'd be all over this.
Yeah, I think we're using it exclusively this season, so the genesis of it was you get a bill for headset, and I've gotten bills that have ranged from $10,000 to $41,000. I know coaches who have spent over $60,000 on a headset system. And a few years back, my wife got me AirPods for Father's Day, and I use them all the time. I listen to books and listen to podcasts and things like of that nature. And so to be able to walk around with like the most advanced technology that humanity has probably ever had in our pockets at all times, and then you look at this bill for $40,000 for a headset system, and you go, something doesn't add up here. So started having conversations with a friend who is he's actually my best friend growing up, and he's in the innovation space. Lincoln is just down the road from Concordia University, and so there's a hub of innovation, especially with technology. Like Huddle's
Yep.
headquartered out of there, and there's just some people call it the Silicon Prairie. So there's a lot of innovation and a lot of technology coming out of Lincoln, Nebraska, and so to be able to be that close to it has been really helpful. So I went to a friend of mine about this idea, and then he said, I know some people in the development world. Why don't we just go have lunch and see what we can do? And had lunch with a guy, and he said, it'd probably cost you around 100K to whip up what your idea is. And we go, well, that was a fun idea, that we don't have that, so we're gonna move on. But then he ended up calling back later, and we brought on a few more guys and started an LLC, and then we launched. We prototyped in the spring, and then we launched in the summer. We had 110 users across 5 different states or 6 different states go through spring ball using this app, and it went really well. It was very well received. We got a bunch of great feedback. We were able to work out a couple of the kinks, and now I have a low cost solution that has allowed me to, instead of spending money on headset systems, we're able to spend money on staff. We have 2 additional part-time coaches that we wouldn't have been able to have that money in our budget if we would have been spending that on apps, or not on the app, but on headset systems. So the app has really been able to help us with our budget, and I believe it delivers a superior experience too.
We're gonna get as deep, take a deep a dive as we can here in the time allowed. So for football coaches and ADs, you got your traditional headset system. A lot of them, they have a base set up, and the head coach, you can talk to, a coach on the sideline, maybe a second or third coach up in the press box, different frequencies, etc. So your app gets rid of that. Everybody that we just mentioned, those 4 coaches, or I'm going to guess more, they've got the app downloaded on their phone, and they're talking through the earbuds. You and I talked about that previously. How does it work? They have to
Yeah.
select their spot. Tell our listeners how it works.
Yeah, so I'll actually show you. I have it on my phone right now, and if anybody's just listening and not watching the podcast, they can go to the headsetapp.com and see this. But one thing that we have, one way that I've set mine up, and there's a glare, but you can set up to 6 channels, and once you're in, you just switch back and forth between the channels. You can name the channels whatever you want, and so the way I've set it up. Because each staff can set it up however they want. But how we do it is we have our offense, our defense, our special teams, our filmers, and our athletic trainers, and our equipment staff. Like they can all be on the app at the same time, and then you just switch from channel to channel. So one benefit that some coaches have recognized is just coordinating practices has been, if you want your filmer to film a certain drill, you just press the filmer channel, and you can talk to them instead of having to yell from the field to the press box, or having to yell two fields away. It helps coordinate practices really well. And then the other thing, a lot of times for me, as a coaching staff, you'll watch film on Sundays or Saturdays or whenever, and you'll go, how did we possibly miss that thing? How did we not see that up in the press box? And you have things assigned to coaches that they're supposed to watch, but you never really practice it. You're just doing it live during games, and you get better at it as the season progresses. But with the ease of this app, you just put in an AirPod at practice, and you have your coach go up to the booth during team period, and you're able to work out those communication kinks during the week of practice, and they're able to practice what they're supposed to be looking at on Saturdays, and there's just a ton of different benefits to the ease of not having to set up a base station or get out the clunky headsets and have them clip them to your pants and have your shorts fall down when you're trying to run. Like there's just a lot of practical, common sense solutions that the app provides.
So again, it's the equipment involved. Every coach has their own earbuds. They've got their cell phone. They download the app. That's it as far as hardware, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're a software company. So yeah, we don't really have, I mean, and there are hardware solutions that play a role in some of this, but we had our team camp last week, and for high schools came onto campus, and I had our players there officiating scrimmages, and I had one of our players download the app, create a team, and invite some of our other players to join his staff. And it took 4 minutes and 46 seconds to get 5 guys to download the app and get all on the same team. So it's a pretty smooth process. We've worked out, ironed out a lot of the kinks of that. And it's been something that we're really enjoying using, and we're excited about.
Now you're certainly a lot younger than me, but I'm going to guess those kids, they probably had it down and mastered in no time, right? So
Yeah,
you're speaking their language.
It was easy for them, but we also have. I got a video of my dad downloading it, and he's not technologically savvy. I am not technologically savvy. I've been using. I think I was probably we were one of the first college staffs to go with Huddle. But we were using VHS tapes the week before that. I've been pretty slow to get on board with technology, but it doesn't take a genius to operate this app, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Like it's somewhat smooth.
Well, I appreciate you giving one of our sponsors, Huddle, a shout out, and I was right there with you. Huddle, I don't know if I want to use that. And then once I got into it, I go, oh, geez, how did I live without this?
Yeah.
We'll talk about the cost before we leave, because I'm sure everybody's wondering, okay, how much does it cost? Let's talk about let's talk to that cynical athletic director, head football coach in Florida or Nebraska or wherever. With headsets, the batteries run out in the middle of the game, or you're getting interference on a different frequency. What's the worst thing you can say about your product after testing it with all these different schools, and maybe if you could name off a couple of the schools or colleges that are using it besides you guys, and you already said you're committing to going to this full bore. So what are some of the challenges that have popped up?
So one thing that's different about the headset app that's kind of different than traditional headset systems is, with traditional headset systems, you're using radio waves and frequencies. With the headset app, it's all encrypted communications. So you don't need to be in a certain range for it to work. If you had a live feed on a television, you could call a game in real time and be on the headset with the rest of your coaching staff and not even be physically present, which is a really weird concept, and I'm not suggesting anybody do that. But there's not a range issue as far as like being physically present. You don't need to be within 100 feet of your headset base or whatever. Like it's all an encrypted communication platform. So it's the same kind of encryption that you use for PayPal or something like that. That's the security that's behind it. So it's a secure way to talk to your coaching staff. And the one issue that we ran into when we prototyped it in the spring was we had a coaching staff from Arkansas that was saying, we have an issue if you're in, so your phone is going to use data or Wi-Fi. And if you're pinging back and forth between the two, like, so where our field is located, there are certain parts of our stadium where the Wi-Fi signal is stronger than others. And if you have a weak Wi-Fi signal, and it bounces back and forth between data and Wi-Fi, it can cause a delay. But if you just shut the Wi-Fi off, that help that issue out. Or if you have a strong Wi-Fi signal, then go only Wi-Fi. But if it bounces between data and Wi-Fi, you could run into some delays. But that was the main problem that we ran into during our prototyping and during our inaugural run of it, and we were able to identify and kind of correct that.
You know, that sounds like something that you're going to know about, you know, the Wi-Fi, you know, well before kickoff, and you'll be able to get those settings adjusted. Um, okay, now it's 10 minutes before kickoff, and you know something's going wrong. We can't figure it out. You know, the guy up in the box, you know, he's not getting a signal or whatever. Do you guys have a customer service line or something?
Yeah, so one of the beauties of what we're able to provide right now is we're not you're not going to get a hotline to another country. Like, you're going to be able to talk to somebody. If you're on our premium plan, you're going to be able to talk to somebody in real time immediately. We are designed by coaches for coaches, and our developers have done a phenomenal job. I think we have a really elite development team, and they're able to solve and troubleshoot issues as faster than I thought would be possible. And it's also something that you don't have to have a salesman come out and demonstrate for you. You can just download the app and try it for free. It's something that you can do from your living room if you wanted to. You don't need to have somebody come and do a demo. And I think that that's something that has been beneficial.
All right, let's go ahead and everybody's probably itching for this question. You know, you talked about the cost of existing headphones, and nothing against them. They're great products, but you know, for the headset app, what's the cost for a coach and AD to start using this technology?
Yeah, so first of all, you can go to the headsetapp.com and you can get all of that pricing information, but I'm going to give it to you. So we have 3 tiers. One thing that we want to be the solution for schools with smaller budgets that want to spend their money on people and not headset systems. And so some of the feedback we got early in the early when we went to the market in June was, coach, an awesome product, just a little bit outside of our price range. We have since added 3 tiers to our pricing model. And so we have a premium package of $49.99, and you're going to get you're going to get everything. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You're going to have all of the bells and whistles. We have a standard plan for $24.99 per month per coach. And then we have a basic plan, which is $7.99 per month per coach. And so, a lot of depending on your program's needs, you can have, we should have something that fits your budget. Okay, so why would you go with premium instead of basic? And why do most people go with standard? I'll kind of go through that. So the $7.99 is kind of designed for the smaller schools. There's a limit of how many users you can have on your team. And it's 2 channels. It's just kind of like the basic functions of the app. And then if you have a bigger staff and you want more channels, you're going to go to the standard plan, which is $24.99 a month, and per coach. And with that, that's like $6 per game. And to be able to deliver that, the headset communication at that cost is something that we're really proud of, and something that we had to work to get our costs and everything to a point where we could deliver it at that. And so we have unlimited users, up to 6 channels on the standard plan. And then there are some things that we have in development that we're really excited about moving forward. But you're going to have, with the premium $49.99 per month plan, that's going to have an unlimited amount of users. We're going to have up to 12 channels, and we're working on like your watch app development, which is still in the development stages, but we feel like we're pretty close to getting that released. And then there's an announce all button. So if you want to talk to your entire staff across all channels, you can be able to do that as well. So there's a lot of uses that we've found for it. A lot of different markets. We've had some athletic director, one in particular in Texas said, I might use this for our golf program. To be able to have a coach be able to communicate with his whole golf team and, from long distances. The baseball carryover is almost obvious, anytime you can. So we had our baseball program here at Concordia University, that they used it for 6 JV games this past year. And the guys were just able to set their phones in the dugout and put an AirPod in. They didn't have to put any wires down the back of their jerseys. And it was something that was pretty slick for them. We got a lot of great feedback from it. And so the baseball market is kind of an obvious carryover, I think. So we're excited to engage that market down the road.
Again, full disclosure, Headset App is not a sponsor or a partner of the podcast. I saw this program. I reached out to Patrick and asked him if he'd want to come on Tech Tuesday and share. I think it sounds like an incredible tool, an incredible value, if you will, for ADs and coaches. Let me just take the conversation out into the weeds. Has there been any discussion on your end, talking with, and again, Concordia University, you're an NAIA school, any conversations about allowing this technology to go into another level with coach to player communication, having the quarterback or the defensive signal caller, have those earbuds during the game, anything like that? Have you thought that way, or am I just being crazy?
No, you're not being crazy. I think it's pretty wild that technology has advanced to the point where that's an option, but when that legislation, I think, will eventually pass, and I think it'll happen at state levels for different associations or whatever, will pass those things at different times. When they do, if you have the headset app, any Bluetooth speaker works with it. So if you can get helmet Bluetooth speakers right now that clip into any kind of helmet, and you're already equipped with the technology. If you have the headset app to do that and to add that, it's not going to be a separate system that would cost you anything additional. You just go out to the free market and find a Bluetooth speaker that works to clip into a helmet. Or one thing that we're excited about to use is, as things currently are set up, if I have my defensive backs coach up in the booth and he wants to talk to the entire defensive back unit, all we have to do for him to talk to 8 or 9 defensive backs at a time is just flip from our headset to a portable speaker, those speakers that you have for your golf cart or whatever. You can just switch over to that, and that coach can talk to the entire position group as loud as you want to turn that volume. And so there's a lot of different capabilities that we think we have, that we know we have, that we think are going to be better than what's currently offered right now.
Well, again, really appreciate you, following up on an idea. Hey, you think this would work? And finding your buddy and finding the tech team. One more time, let's give out the information, the website, and if somebody wants to reach out and pick your brain, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're on our Twitter handle is at the Headset App, and it's theheadsetapp.com. We're not terribly creative. Our team is, but I'm not. And I said, let's just call it the Headset App. So we're should be easy to find. You can follow me on Twitter at Patrick Daberkow. And we're excited. I want to just coach football, and so that's all I'm doing. We have a team of developers and salespeople and innovators who are running all of this. I was just the guy who had the problem, and just was able to, by the grace of God, be surrounded by some awesome people who knew how to connect dots. And so I'm just kind of the coach who came up with, who presented the problem.
Well, again, very cool. The headset app, the website, the Twitter handle, check it out. I think you're going to be very impressed. Patrick Daberkow, all the best with the app and with Concordia football. And thanks for being on Tech Tuesday.
Thank you, Jake. Really appreciate it.
Hey, for our listeners, we do this every single week, and we upload the Zoom videos to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. Come back next Tuesday for another great tech tip, and just about every day for new content on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. That was a really cool Tech Tuesday. If I was still coaching football, I'd be all over that. The headset app. Make sure you check it out. Before we go, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. You can see their logos if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening, you know who they are. Home Campus. Go to homecampus.com. See all the things that they can do for you. Hometown Ticketing is the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I don't think I need to say anything more. Go to hometownticketing.com. Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. At my schools, we use surveys for just about everything. You should too. athleticsurveys.com. Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school records, your school's Hall of Fame, or just share your school's story, vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check them out today. We want to thank Snap Mobile. Go to snapraise.com to find out all the different platforms that you can use to help your school run better. Snapraise.com. Want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com, start creating custom content for your school's social media channel. Gipper.com. Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. You've heard me say one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. So check them out. And our friends at Huddle. Go to huddle.com. See all the ways that they can help you and your coaches and your athletes play at the highest level. Huddle.com. Thanks again for listening. Come back next time for another great Tech Tuesday and just about every day for new content on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time.